Hasn't this been a crazy week?
Yes, it has. It has been a crazy week, man. Been a wild week. I bet it's just going to get even crazier, too.
Yeah, with 5 days, well, 6 counting today, but with 5 days left to the election.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me how we can even stand the noise out there right now.
Yeah.
It is so loud.
Yep.
You know,
But
it's going to continue. And is this thing working?
Hey, everybody, here we are, man. We're live. It's episode 223.
That's it.
223.
I can't believe we've been doing this many.
Yeah.
We are doing this live, and if we have a little bit of lag, leave us a message in the comments and let us know we're working on our live stream. So this is another test that we're doing tonight, so bear with us. It's exciting, though. I really like to do the live streams because we have to be on our toes.
Little challenging.
A little
bit
challenging.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure you don't sit there with dead air staring at each other.
Or go,
Nobody will know.
Too much.
But hey, before we get going, let's. Oh, see, there we go.
That
happened right there. Before we get going, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Are you looking for that perfect coffee kick to kickstart your day? Coffee Brothers, man, has you covered. Coffee Brothers is all about responsibly sourced, fresh roasted coffee that packs a punch in every cup. Their blends are crafted with premium beans, roasted in small batches to give you a smooth, flavorful experience like no other. And if you're into the details, Coffee Brothers has it all, man. So whether you're into an espresso, whether you're into a cold brew, or just you need a good classic drip, nice, mellow cup of coffee, man, Coffee Brothers has your next favorite blend, I guarantee it. Grab yours today and taste the difference that passion makes. You can find it at www.coffeebros.com.
Or you can click that link below.
Oh.
And it will take you right there. And we're drinking a cup of Coffee Bros right now as we speak.
Yep.
We always come in and grab us a cup of coffee to keep us going and getting us excited about today.
I am.
Yeah. But we want to state before we start this show that these are our opinions and our assertions only.
Yep. And if you agree with our opinions and our assertions, hey, man, hit the like button and share our show.
That's right. And download that Rumble app so you can get instant notifications when we go live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, especially up until the election. We are going to be here. We're going to even be repurposing shows to remind you about election integrity.
Yep. And on election night, we've got a big show planned that night too, man.
It's going to be big, man. The streamers are going to be out, and we're going to be one of them.
I was scrolling through Twitter today, and Hodge Twins, they said, hey, man, we're not going to put on a show, but we want to know who's going to have the best live show on election night. And I told him, is this thing working?
Oh.
I said, I guarantee you we will.
That's right.
So let's see what happens, man.
It's going to be hot in the chat. So everybody join us in the chat.
I think us and about every other million podcasters in the world are going to be live streaming that night.
Yeah. And
it's going to be crazy.
Several of them are going in together and doing big streams.
I heard Tim Pool and them are going to.
And so is Bongino.
Yeah.
And his group. They're going in together. So it's going to get pretty heated. So everyone tune in to us. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
We'll be there giving our commentary, because the mainstream legacy is going to tick us off. One of us.
Some way.
Every one of us. But everyone knows. Everyone has heard, I'm sure, that Stephen K. Bannon is back.
Yep. He's back like he never missed a beat, man.
When we watched his show yesterday and sat down, because we had to be here and we had to see it.
Yep.
Everyone missed him. So it was like he just stepped right in.
Yeah.
And there he was.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But you know what? As I was looking at him, really just looking at him, he looks PO'd.
Yes, he does.
He looks like he has a lot of pent up, bottled up anger, and he's going to use it to get out the vote, to make sure you're informed and make sure you become engaged.
Yep.
And be a force multiplier. Take 10 friends with you to go vote and do it tomorrow.
Yep.
be in line tomorrow.
Yep.
You know?
Somewhere.
I know, somewhere in line.
Be somewhere in line, and don't get out of the line. Doesn't matter what they tell you.
No, don't do it. You know, that is your right to vote.
Yep.
And we have a lot to talk about today. We have Bannon, Trump, Joe Biden come out. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's
Called us
been
garbage.
A nightmare.
Yeah. Called us garbage.
Called us garbage. And then we have election integrity stuff that we're going to inform you of, because we need to keep up with what's going on.
Yes.
And another important thing about this is the states that we're talking about. And these are the ones that we need to fix.
Yep.
So
the battleground states.
Yes. But I really want to play this video that I've been sharing with you this whole time that we started of Bannon. He was at a presser yesterday, and this is what he had to say at his presser. So listen to him. Welcome back, Bannon. We welcome you back.
They thought they would shut down the WarRoom and take our power away. The show is bigger and more powerful than it's ever been. And please, it's not a podcast. We take the live streaming television show every day in the radio show and we turn it into a podcast. So, my brothers and sisters at CNN, when you say the podcast number is off slightly, right? It hasn't. We were the largest podcast, but we're streaming. We stream on television, and we play on radio and online. And Nancy Pelosi thought a federal prison was going to break me. Well, it empowered me.
God bless you.
It empowered
That's
me.
it.
That's it.
That's it, babe.
I am more empowered today, more focused today, sharper today, in better shape today than I've ever been in my entire life. So Nancy Pelosi, suck on that.
And he stepped up his wardrobe just a little too, man. Did he not? Yeah, I like his jacket. I think that's a cleaner jacket than the one he had before. Yeah.
Well, his daughter probably washed it for him while he was in prison or something, but it's pretty cool. You know, there were photos out yesterday of him greeting her or her greeting him. You know, when he walked out of prison and her arms were open wide. When I seen that picture, it brought a tear to my eye. You know, I'm so happy that he's out and that he's okay and that, you know, he's back.
Yeah. And not to change the subject, but I tell you what, I want to see that scene happen again over and over and over with the J6 prisoners. Every one of them need to come out of there too. Yes,
and the people that have been brought up on charges for the FACE Act. To me, I cannot understand at all why they would put people in prison for praying in front of abortion clinics. I do not understand that.
Right.
You know, and claim
political, man.
And claim that, you know, they're stopping them from getting
it's weaponized
abortions.
Government, man. It's overreach. It is.
It's sad. There's grandmas in prison, and they all need to come out.
Yep.
Every one of them. And that's why we need to vote President Trump, everybody.
I agree. Yeah, this. Again, just like we're saying, get out and vote, man. Get out and vote. Natalie Winter said today, Joe Biden thinks you're garbage. That's how they're treating your Trump ballots.
Yes. Here, listen to what she had to say. Just a little bit, because it's 3 minutes long.
Try to convince people that everything's fine when, in fact, this has already started off as a complete mess.
Of course. Look, when President Biden stands up there and says that MAGA and your supporters are garbage, he's actually just talking about how the system wants to treat our ballots. In other words, they don't want to count them. And it's quite clear. But this is some fifth dimensional information warfare that they're waging. Just today, Bloomberg had out a huge spread with the title, I think Denver has it, How U.S. Voting Machines Became Safer Than Ever. And this, of course, comes on the heels of months of narratives that we've seen from every mainstream media outlet, which is particularly two key points that justify, that lay the groundwork for these election delays, which, like we always say, the mistakes, I guess apparently now like the windows, only seem to go one way. And that is that Republican poll watchers are a threat not just to democracy, but they're going to be violent on election day, and that there's going to be massive delays when it comes to the Postal Service and mail-in ballots, so much so that you see a group of experts warning, I think it was in Reuters just a few days ago, that Republican poll watchers are very dangerous. And now in lockstep, the Brookings Institution coming out listing 50 plus counties that they think are, they say, high risk for failing to certify election results. So all of these narratives converge, not just, like I said, to justify delays in election results, but more importantly, to push MAGA, to push Republican poll watchers outside of the count, outside of the rooms where elections are determined, so much so that I believe out in Washington, a Republican poll watcher was actually kicked out of a ballot testing procedure for not wearing a mask. So you're seeing the resurgence of this sort of lawfare, much in the style that they came after you and President.
Right there. Right there, she tells you exactly what they're doing, man. And this is true. We're seeing it all over the country. We're seeing all kinds of examples of it. And this goes back to what I talked about before, man. They're just going to ramp this up. It's just going to get crazier and crazier, man.
And every day it's getting crazier.
And the propaganda that they come out and say that voting machines are safer than ever, and we've already seen that to not be the case. Right there, she tells you exactly what they're doing, man.
That's exactly right.
I echoed. Yeah.
That was fun. But to your point, one thing that is also propaganda is everything that President Trump says or anybody that he has on to talk, because he has on these speakers beforehand, to get the crowd, in the mood. And so at the MSG rally, a comedian comes on there.
Tony Hinchcliffe, man. And great comedian.
Yeah, and makes, this
joke about Puerto Rico.
Yes. Comedian at New York City Trump rally called Puerto Rico floating island of garbage. And he did. He called Puerto Rico that, but it was a joke.
Yep.
And then on Snopes, the reason why I brought up Snopes is because it gives a correct context of it. And it says the speaker, comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, said his speech was a stand-up comedy set and the comment was meant as a joke.
Exactly.
And they took this joke that he said and they ran with it.
Yeah,
they made propaganda out of it, and so I think it's crazy that, we can do the exact same thing. But before we move on to that, I really want to go over this Get Out the Vote event.
Okay.
Here that's going on in Texas, and I want to put this out here. I kind of passed it up. Sorry about that. But on Sunday, November 3rd, from 5 to 9 p.m., there's going to be a Get Out the Vote event in Bartonville, Texas.
Yep. And Bartonville, for those that don't know, is in between Dallas and Denton, probably to a little bit to the northwest. It's actually between Grapevine and Denton.
Yes.
There. So it's going to be in a big.
It's going to be a big
area.
thing. It's going to have Ken Paxton and Kash Patel.
Yeah.
Sarah Gonzalez, Abraham George, Dorinda Randall, and performance by Natasha Owens. And she's done several songs for President Trump already. So that's going to be great.
Yeah.
And it's for Mitch Little, Richard Hayes, Brandon Gill, and Tan Parker. These are all for the these two right here, Richard Hayes and Mitch Little, are for the representatives for the state. This is for Brandon Gill for U.S. Congress, Tan Parker for the Texas Senate.
Yep.
So that's who we need to get out and vote tomorrow. Tomorrow, go.
Yep. It's
and
important
vote for
to get out
these
and
people.
vote. And
President Trump.
And I tell you what, man, hats off to the citizens of Texas, because just like we've talked about back in January and February during the primaries, how you've really got a low voter turnout, man. And you tended to. That was always kind of the pattern. But I tell you what, this year changed. And it was kind of low back then during the primary. But for this right here, and I've seen this from John Cornyn, of all people, Senator John Cornyn, and he's talking about how important it is to get out to vote and get out and vote early. And he said that as of right now, 6.9 million people have voted early. If you think about it, we're about at 30 million population. That's a modest little 20%. That's pretty good.
That's big.
Yeah.
You know, that's bigger. I wonder if it has been that big because, you know, early voting doesn't go back too far.
Right.
You know, especially here in Texas.
Well,
this is kind of we've
only
days.
been early voting for at least this time since last week.
Yes.
Last Monday. But like I said, you know, we went and we voted, and then later on I talked to somebody else who lived in Nacogdoches up there, and he said that when he went on the second or third day, I think it started on Monday, and then I think it was by Wednesday he went and voted up there, and he said it was packed up there.
I know it was when we went, too.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, it was. It was packed. But we have the little clip.
Yeah, let's get back to the garbage.
Yes,
let's get back to talking about the garbage.
garbage.
And that's the thing, man. Tony Hinchcliffe, he talked about that. Puerto Rico has a waste problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they do
and
have
that's
one.
What his joke was referring to. It wasn't, you know, it was just a
and
joke.
people even brought out articles that were talking about the waste that was going on there.
Exactly.
You know, and but President Trump, you know, he has done so much for Puerto Ricans. So everyone knows that this is just a Democrat talking point.
Yeah.
But I thought it was hilarious. I mean, everyone laughs when Joe Biden comes out and is supposedly gaffes, you know, in quotes, of course. You know, but listen to him. Listen, this is what we're referring to.
Context.
Donald Trump has no character. He doesn't give a damn about the Latino community. He's failed businessman. He only cares about the billionaire friends he has and accumulating wealth for those at the top. You know, he says immigrants are poisoning the blood of our country. Give me a break. He wants to do away with the birthright citizenship. Who the hell has said that in the last 100 years? And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been. Donald Trump has no character. He doesn't.
I can't help it. He is just unbelievable. What he says is just unbelievable.
Well, at this point, though, man, and I agree with Viva Fry that everybody needs to watch this for context. It's actually much worse than the small videos that they keep running around here. He said what he said, and he meant what he said. If you've paid attention to Joe Biden over the last 4 years,
I mean, you can look at his eyes. Look in his eyes. I mean, he's like angry.
Every State of the Union that we've come out with, he has come out and done what? Trashed us and called us a threat to democracy. Insurrectionists, treasonous, all of this. He has done this for 4 years. But for him to come out and do this now is a big blow to the Kamala Harris campaign. And that's what I agree with Viva Fry with this was he said it's almost as though he's deliberately trying to sabotage her. Yes. Remember, I called this.
You have been calling this.
I've been calling this
the beginning.
Yep, since the day they cooed him. I said, man, if I'm Joe Biden, I get with President Trump, and we crush this thing, man. Yeah. Remember, I said that.
I do.
Yeah.
You know, and they keep coming out and saying, well, he had this planned already, you know, to Zoom or whatever. You know, but look, he's in a laptop. She's at a rally that's supposed to be her closing statement.
Yes.
Right? Which that's a whole nother story in itself because all of the articles I see in the legacy media is the 5 things Kamala said that will make sure she wins.
But he comes out and just, you can tell nobody wrote this. He just come out and winged this, man.
Yes, he did. He winged it. And what's so funny is the White House had to come out and try to correct this stuff.
They're like, what the hell are you doing, man? Yeah, this is hilarious, man.
And I thought a good point Michael Schellenberger had up here. He said the Presidential Records Act prohibits altering official transcripts, which is what the White House did, and the alteration makes no sense. The White House is now claiming Biden was referring to the racism of Trump's supporters, but the transcript refers to his supporters.
Yeah.
So here in this, and it tells you exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He was demonizing
exactly
the supporters, and you know what? President Trump is not racist. I get so sick of hearing people call him racist.
Let's hear what he had to say, and this is what's cool because President Trump learned of this on the fly, and this is how he replied on the fly.
This week, Kamala has been comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And now, speaking on a call for her campaign last night, Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage.
My bad. This was the night after.
Even though, without question, my supporters are far higher quality than Crooked Joe or Lion Kamala. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just can't.
Amen.
That's it.
That's it right there.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. But yes.
The one I was referring to was the
yes.
one where he did learn it right there and remember it. And I think what he said was that they can't get along with anybody.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He said that. They can't get along with anybody. And Marco Rubio is the one that broke the news to him at a rally last night. At the rally,
yeah.
You know, and he was just right on his feet. And all morning I kept seeing like the influencers saying, MAGA is about joy. MAGA is about joy and comedy. That's what it was. Joy and comedy.
Why not?
You know,
man?
why not?
Yeah.
You know, we're actually the ones that are about joy and comedy. You know, and President Trump loves America and loves Americans in the middle class, and they can't stand that. And we've worked really hard over the last 4 years to catch them at everything that they've done. You know, even with everything going on, you know, we have eyes on everything. We have our own little WarRoom posse, Bongino Army, and the list could go on and on and on because we have stepped up and
been the next man up.
Been the next man up. And I'm going to tell you, everybody, we are so proud, and the numbers are showing it. The numbers are showing exactly what is going on. You know, so we're going to bring you a little information that you need to know about what happened in 2020 versus what's going on now. You know, so all of a sudden people are coming out about 2020. And
all of a sudden.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm just a conspiracy theorist, you know, over here when everything goes right every time we have a conspiracy theory going on. You know, but this was a breaking news article yesterday, and two brave IRS whistleblowers sit down with Catherine Herridge to reveal how their lives changed after exposing 2020 election interference by the IRS, FBI, DOJ, and Biden-Harris White House.
Yeah. It goes on to begin to say this, and I agree completely. It said Catherine Herridge is one of the only fair former mainstream media journalists that exists today. I believe that one of the others would be Tucker Carlson.
Yes.
But the recently fired host from CBS News sat down with two IRS whistleblowers, and they discussed how the government agency has used its power to influence the outcome of the 2020 election and how the whistleblowers were being punished for standing up to what many would call a government crime syndicate.
And that's exactly what
we've been calling it that for years.
Yes,
man. Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
What is going on. In the interview with Herridge, which first appeared on X and was retweeted by X owner Elon Musk, reveals documents proving how the IRS targets conservatives and helps to hide evidence for Democrats. In the first clip, Herod shows a letter from the IRS thanking agents for her commitment to the mission, which culminated in a great conviction after Hunter Biden's guilty plea. What you're saying is that within the IRS, there's disparate treatment of American taxpayers? Herod asked two brave IRS whistleblowers seated in front of her during a recorded interview.
Yeah, the memo referred to Biden's conviction after he pleaded guilty to 2 misdemeanor counts of tax evasion in a deal he struck with U.S. Attorney David Weiss back in September.
Yes.
Those are words that are not supported by the actions of the agency, one of the whistleblowers explained. And later on, the 2 whistleblowers explained how the phony memo made them sick. What you're saying is that there is a disparate treatment of American taxpayers? She asked. The whistleblower explained that there are taxpayers who are identified as sensitive investigations. Harrods responded. Sensitive investigations seems like code for powerful elite people. There was no question in your mind that the big guy was Joe Biden, Harrods asked. Yeah,
and
we all know that,
responded.
Yeah.
We corroborated that the big guy was Joe Biden.
Yeah. Well, Bob Alinsky, he corroborated that over and over, and all they done was buried the story.
Yeah, and then it goes on to say the second whistleblower explained, we know that the laptop was real. The DOJ knew that the laptop was real. The FBI knew.
The laptop was real, yeah.
There were a lot of overt actions that we were not allowed to take because we had an upcoming election.
We were not allowed to take because...
Yes, because they could control the narrative.
Yeah.
They did this. We seen them do this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just another conspiracy theory that they've come up on, and we were right this whole time.
Yeah.
And I appreciate Catherine Herod. She is going, but then there's another one with Jake Tapper. Y'all, Jake Tapper is lying about CNN's key role in the Russia collusion hoax. And if y'all remember, I think it's going to, this is from the Federalist, Molly Hemingway. But if you remember at the debate, it was Vance that was talking to Jake Tapper. And Vance accused Jake Tapper, of being part of the Russia collusion hoax.
Yeah.
And he said no.
Yeah.
He said, no. Yep. That wasn't me. It was just information that the FBI gave us. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
But it actually happened and started in right before President Trump
took office.
Took office, right when, because he put his hand on the Bible on the 20th, remember?
Yep.
And so Molly, she said she appeared on a CNN panel to discuss current events. It was memorable, and not just because we were taping from the roof of a building near the U.S. Capitol as part of the outlet's special coverage of Trump's first inauguration.
Yep, this was January 12th, 2017.
Yeah, and just as we were about to go on, we were significantly delayed by President Barack Obama surprising Vice President Joe Biden with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Remember that? I mean, they held it all up.
Yeah, and she goes on to say, as I recall, there were maybe 5 or 6 of us on set, including former Obama political appointee Jim Sciotto and host Jake Tapper, 2 of the 4 authors of the most important story of the entire Russian collusion hoax. Intel chiefs presented Trump with claims of Russian efforts to compromise him had been published just 2 days prior, followed up by BuzzFeed publishing the actual document claiming widespread collusion between Trump and Russia. That document, 9 months later, was revealed to have been secretly bought and paid for by Hillary, and we all know about that, by Hillary and the DNC, and it included lies about Trump, supposedly paying prostitutes, the pee-pee hoax.
Yes.
All of that, all of that. And it created a big, huge hysteria.
And people wondered if Donald Trump would make it to the inauguration, which was their plan. They did not want him inaugurated at all.
But what was CNN's role in it? That's the question. Is it right? It's right here, ain't it?
Yes.
Yeah. that I was one, and Molly goes on to say, I was one of the exceedingly few who didn't. I thought Hillary's Russian information operation was silly before the election, and when she turned to it as an explanation of her loss. I thought a likelier explanation was that Americans liked Trump's policies and disliked hers, which is what everybody did. Nobody wanted her policies, man.
Well, you know, and it was more like it is now.
Yep.
Against the government. We are against the same old people being in there.
Yep. But Molly said she said so on television during December when faulty and weak intelligence assessments from the Obama administration were issued in an effort to legitimize her stance. So Tapper defends his part in it. She goes on, before I tell you what happened next, I need to explain why I never told you this story publicly before. During commercial breaks and while remote reporters are on air, people on television sets share personal stories, funny jokes, and info about stories they're working on. I've long treated on-set interactions that are not broadcast as not to be discussed.
Surely.
Yep.
I get that.
In the same way that a reporter can publicly disclose an anonymous source who burns them with bad info, Tapper and CNN are causing serious harm with their revisionist history of their own key role in the Russia collusion hoax. It's become a matter of conscience that I stop hiding what I witnessed at CNN.
Yeah,
Finally,
and then she goes on to talk about what happened with the debate with Vance and how he highlighted it. But then she says Tapper claimed falsely that all he and his colleagues did was report that the FBI was investigating the matter. He further claimed falsely that his viewers would not have been led to believe that Trump had conspired with Russia. And then it gives the exact quotes, which we have gone over. But it goes on to say, back on that roof in January, Evan Perez was shown on television reading and reporting on Clapper's statement from a remote location. Tapper and his colleagues interpreted the statement as confirmation of their story and a repudiation of Trump's dismissal of the Russia collusion story as false. While Perez's package was airing, and at the point he read Clapper saying that he didn't think the leak came from the intelligence community, Scioto said that he was pretty sure Clapper knew the leak came from the intelligence community because, he said, trailing off as he rolled his hands suggestively and somewhat like a football referee very slowly calling a false start. He said it for all to hear, though I'm not sure anyone else other than Jake Tapper, who was sitting to the right of, and I heard and understood. Tapper squeezed Scioto's left wrist the way my mom used to squeeze my wrist at church when I was being too loud. I interpreted this message roughly as, stop talking, you idiot.
Yeah.
Yes. So they knew from the very beginning that this was all false.
Right.
They knew it. They leaked it, and they were part of it.
They built
and
it.
They were in on. They built the story themselves.
Yep.
And people kept quiet.
Yep.
People kept quiet. This is why they don't want President Trump in. This is why.
Because they all need to go to jail.
Every one of them need to go to jail. And
here's more that people need to go to jail over. And just like we talk about, man, the steel is on with these guys. They are going to do what they got to do. Rasmussen Reports put out a tweet 7 hours ago. Michigan in one voter ID with 29 separate votes already. Yeah, nothing wrong here. All good. Move along.
Yep, nothing wrong there whatsoever.
One voter with 29 separate votes. What they're doing is they're taking the homeless. They're giving multiple homeless people this one man's information, and these homeless people are just going and voting. Correct? Yeah.
Yes, because they have no way to identify them.
Right.
You don't know who that person is.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, you do this person, this number, this one person.
They're giving addresses of homeless shelters and things like that.
And
too.
I can guarantee you that these are illegals. I just can't, because they stay in the homeless shelters, and and it's probably the hotels that they have set up for them
right
all over the place.
Yep.
What's
another example we seen this weekend?
Here we go.
Nevada. Yeah.
From the great Gateway Pundit, Nevada Supreme Court rules mail-in ballots without postmarks can be counted 3 days after the election, folks. Yep. That's another one.
Another ballot dump there. They're just setting it up for that, man.
Right there is out of control.
This is
judges that are out of control.
Yep.
This will go to the Supreme Court, so we'll see what happens there.
Right.
Here we go. Democrat operative caught in undercover video explaining how they allegedly stole 2020 election in Georgia, from nursing home ballot harvesting to identifying a driver in 2,000 mules. This came out 2 days ago, and we were talking about this with someone earlier today, and that's why I brought this article in here, because he mentioned 2,000 mules and said he saw it, and even had bought the video of it and everything. But there are people that are still coming out, whistleblowers, about 2020, because they want you to know what is going on.
Exactly.
And this is how they're going to do it again. It's right in front of your eyes. We all know it. We've already heard about the ballot drop boxes being caught on fire.
Yep.
We don't know who's doing what yet.
We all seen what went on in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Yes, and
We've
I have
all seen that.
Yeah, I think I have something on Bucks County right here.
Yep.
Voter suppression.
Yep.
They do what they accuse you of doing. But this is voter suppression.
Yep. And this goes back to my hunch that I keep saying, hey, man, they're going to ramp it up. It's going to get worse. Between now and Tuesday, it's going to get wild. And come Tuesday, man, this little show right here, this was showing you what they plan on doing.
Yes.
And if they have, I'm telling you, man, it's going to get crazy. There's going to be a lot of voter intimidation. There's going to be a lot of that stuff going on, man.
And that's already happening.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you that our department, DOJ has come out and said we're going to be in certain polling places and we're going to be there watching you. Mm-hmm. And so they're not going to give this election up easy, folks. No. And you have to get out and vote.
Yep.
I mean, absolutely. We have tools that we have been using.
Yeah.
And we need to use every tool in our toolbox.
What's so hypocritical and appalling about the DOJ and their statement saying that they're going to go out there and be there to catch voter intimidation and to catch all this kind of stuff? Y'all are the ones that are doing it, man.
They are. But we do, like I said, have tools. And not too many judges are on our side. But we do have the Supreme Court of the United States.
Yes, we do.
And that is one thing that President Trump is, and no one speaks of except for the Democrats about how horrible they are now because they're conservative, but the conservatives don't speak about it. That is the one thing that changed America.
Yep.
It changed the fact that, hey, the Constitution is back in play.
You bet.
For many, many years, they just let the Constitution was nothing. It's just depending on what they felt like at the time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so Virginia, same old thing. They go and they take 1,600 illegals off of their rolls, and Mark Elias sues them.
Yeah.
Right? And then it goes to appeals and all that, and they have to put them back on, these appeal judges, to tell them that. And then it goes straight to the Supreme Court, and they took it up.
Yeah.
And this is breaking news, and it's breaking. That's what I'm saying, folks. We are winning.
Yes, we are.
We are winning this.
And that's what she's saying, that the Supreme Court said it is fine for Virginia to remove the non-citizens from the voter rolls. Hey, all other 49 states, pay attention. You've got the Supreme Court beside you. Go in there and get these people off. Let's
because
get them
if
off now.
This tells you right now.
Do it right
all
now,
the other
purge
ones,
'em.
I think they've got a lawsuit against Alabama,
Yeah.
and a lot of other states for taking illegals off of the rolls. And I'm telling you,
Yep.
this is going to be big when we win the election and we can prove that illegals are voting.
Yep.
Because the Supreme Court already said illegals can't vote. They can't be on your road. They can't be registered. You know, so this is really big, and the Democrats are downplaying it big time. We need to spread this. This is a win.
Yep.
Man, spread it everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, and we have 5 more days. Please be a patriot and go vote tomorrow. Take 10 people, text 10 people, call 10 people.
Yep.
Just vote, everyone. That's what we need. Too big to rig. And take pictures and
see something, say something.
Well, but, you know, if you're in line and there's nothing going on and it's fairly done and you read your ballot, and the majority of the polling places are, you know, they're good. They're hardworking people.
And they're honest people.
And they're honest people. So, you know, do not be mean. You just do what you have to do.
Exercise your right to vote.
And that's it.
Don't let somebody come and intimidate you to get out, or don't let them pull something. Don't let them decide that they want to close. No.
Don't be combative either at all. I know that we're all watching.
Yep.
You know, and that's what we're doing. We're watching.
Is this thing working?
Rise up.